Audio Jungle.
Social selling is when salespeople, and when I say salespeople, I believe everybody's a salesperson. You have people these days and be like, I can't do sales. Sales is not my thing. You can't afford to say that right now. You're either selling yourself or you're selling a product. You're selling in one way or the other. So social selling is when salespeople use social media to find and engage with new prospects. So salespeople use social media to provide value to these prospects by answering questions, responding to comments, and by sharing content throughout the buying process. We talked about the buying process from awareness to consideration and until even when they're ready to buy. Usually, what used to be common is cold calls. I don't know if these Iroko people Iroko TV people used to call you, or those opera people. Oh my God, it can be quite annoying, or demos. But these days, people use social selling, especially business to business, to reach new prospects, educate them on how your business or company can help them grow their business, nurture them through content and all of that. Understanding social selling is very important and key, especially if you're thinking of working with very big brands that actually do business to business sales or something like that, even business to consumer, and you want to do very huge sales, then you must understand social selling. There are basically 8 ways I'm going to share with you to get started with social selling. Social selling is ultimately about building relationships, but before you build them, you need to make sure you choose the right network. Then you can build new relationships, provide value to prospects, and then nurture these leads. Now you're going to see how it goes. It's really interesting. Number one, choose the most relevant social network. It's easy to get caught up in the next big social network, but the true winners of social selling are salespeople that are active on the same platform as their potential customers. This is actually the foundation for social selling success. It is why, for example, fashion people are more on Pinterest and business to business salespeople are more on LinkedIn. So the question is, where do you start? You have to start by identifying the social network that matches your potential customer or the potential customer of the brand you're working for. So social media by usage identify that YouTube and Facebook has a lion's share of all ages. When I mean lion's share, in for Facebook and linked on YouTube, you can find people of different ages, different cadre and all of that. But when you want to talk about decision makers, the Trumps, the MDs, the CEO, they are more active on Twitter and LinkedIn. So if you're selling products to appeal to teenagers, you can go to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. But if you sell products or services aimed towards business and decision makers, then you should use LinkedIn more or Twitter. Number two, follow the right Twitter users. To build your network, use a tool like there's a tool called Follower Wonk. Just check it on Google. Follower Wonk, follower FOLLOWERWONK. They are spelled together, there's no space. It actually allows you to search for Twitter profiles by topic or keywords, and that provides you with a list of kind of in order of top rated Twitter users on that keyword search. For example, you begin your search for, let's say, sales and marketing. So you find prospects on Twitter, and then by using follower work, you can follow multiple Twitter users quickly rather than visiting and requesting to follow on each individual profile, which can be very time consuming. So you can basically export the list of users, filter the ones that are more relevant, and then follow them. Number three, create a wish list of companies and follow them. Do you ever dream about signing a mega brand or a new client? I know you do. So it doesn't have to just be a dream. So from small businesses to large corporations, they can be found on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the rest of that through their company profiles or accounts. By following these companies, you can keep up to date with news, and you can, when they win an award, you can send them a congratulatory messages and there is congratulatory message, and then ask them for product recommendations and all of. If you're a marketer, this is pretty much the same approach you take with your account based marketing strategy. So here's what you do: you just write like 10 to 20 dream companies that are active on social media, that's the companies that you desire to work with or something, that are active on social media, and start following them, like their tweets, retweets, engage in their status updates whenever possible, share Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. And it might not be a dream longer. I was managing an account for a brand, and this the owner of this organization is well respected in the health sector, and this brand belonged to this, it was a health sector brand, the clinic actually, and somebody was writing thinking it was, and he's like, I want to reach through to this person, I'll offer this, I'll offer that, I can do this. And I'm like, you want to become social media manager? Yeah, come and take my work now. And I could see he was really quite intensive, and then I had to tell the owner that this is what this person is offering, this is what this person sent, what do you think? I do you want to work with this person, do you want to speak with this person? And he's like, what do you think? Do you think it's genuine? Do you think I should get directly with him? What do you think? Do you think I should have a conversation with him? So those are things you should look out for, and you should do for yourself. No, that means you have to really be out there. Number 4, get instant notification when prospects join LinkedIn. So by using LinkedIn's saved search feature, you can create a search based on your ideal customer profile, and then LinkedIn will notify you each time a new sign up matches that profile. To do this, perform a search using the LinkedIn search feed found on the top of LinkedIn when you log in. When you log in, up that search button, enter the criteria that matches the ideal customer profile you want. Maybe you can put in their job title or industry, and then click the search button. At this point, you'll find the results will return people who you are already connected to. So first, remove your first level connections. That's those that have accepted you. Click the connections tab underneath the search function and check for second and click apply. Find second degree connections. Second degree connections means that you know someone in common, which makes it easier to get introduced to the prospect. So in LinkedIn, first degree connections, they're already connected to you. Second degree means like you have mutual friends, something like that. So next, move the cursor to the right side of the page and click create a search alert. Pay attention to this. You might need to replay this again and again to get it, especially for those that are going to be using LinkedIn a lot. Create a search alert. Save the search alert. That's what you have said, so you save it. LinkedIn will then ask you to select how often you wish to receive notifications and in what format, whether email and all of that. Then inviting second degree connections is something you have to do more. It works faster and it can grow a network faster because they see you have something mutual. But if you invite third degree, that means there's nothing mutual, they might not really accept as fast, and usually those that want to verify. Okay, you can also, if you look at your secondary connections and you see the person that you're mutually connected with, you can typically send them a message and say, please, can you refer me to this person? You can send an email and say, can you refer me to this person? And then the connection starts. You really have to be bold and you have to be out there. Number 5, join and participate in LinkedIn group. People don't do this often. LinkedIn has more than 700 million users, and as a platform, LinkedIn provides you with advantages to network, ask for referrals, and a whole lot of opportunities. And one of the biggest advantages actually within groups. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of groups on LinkedIn currently, and I heard they have almost 2 million or over 2 million groups. And the funny thing is, not so many people are leveraging on these groups. So you need to leverage on them. To find a group, search for the topic of your expertise. Remember, you're not looking to mingle with salespeople here, as their job is to sell their products. What you want to do is to share knowledge and expertise with potential customers. So if your ideal customer is a small business owner, then search for groups relating to small business. If you sell customer service software, search and join groups dedicated to customer service managers. Searching for groups on LinkedIn, you have to be specific, and remember, is your target customers are looking for, not people like you, but people you want to sell to. Number 6, connect with potential customers on LinkedIn. When you begin to contribute to groups, you find that more people will view your profile, and when someone views your profile, send them an invitation to connect. But whatever you do, don't send them one of those just connect default or impersonal standard invitation, just usually just click to connect. No, you can send them with a message. Be intentional. Hi, thanks for viewing my profile, would you like to connect on LinkedIn, something like that. Or I saw your this, can you really like to connect with me on LinkedIn? This is a great way to start a conversation with a potential customer that has shown an interest in what you do. Number 7, contribute to existing conversations about your brand. Corporate Visions found that 75% of buyers choose the sales rep who first adds value during the buying process. So this is where you come in, adding value. To add value, you have to implement a social listening strategy and start responding to what people are saying about your brand. You have to be alert. You can do this by searching Twitter to find conversations, to see who is talking about you. Search every day, search for that brand to see use hashtags, scroll, find out, search for keywords. that you use in your brand and see who is talking about it, like the post, retweet it, respond to suggestions or questions that are asked are similar to you. Always do that every day. By contributing to these conversations, you add value to the prospect network and you get your name on their radar. Number 8, and finally, provide value by sharing relevant content. More than 50% of business to business buyers seek out information on products and services on social media. Therefore, you have a great opportunity to create new content based on what people are already searching for. What's the most type of content they seek out? You have to look at what they're looking out for, what kind of content they are consuming. However, this doesn't mean you cannot share any other type of content, or if you have not yet created your own, what they are looking for and all of that. But you need to actually search and look out for groups and find out what people are really talking about. So these 8 social selling tips will help you find and connect with prospects on LinkedIn and Twitter, where decision makers can be found. It can also help you on Instagram and maybe Facebook, but you know Facebook, how vast it is. But the best result from social selling comes when you make it your primary goal to provide value to prospects and build relationships. Social selling is not a one-time activity and something that should be used alongside sales and prospecting techniques. So while it's difficult to get started, and especially when you're new to social media, trust me, the benefits outweigh the challenges. So one thing is clear: prospects, customers, and competitions all use social media for their business. So embrace it, watch your sales grow, ignore it, and get left behind. It's just that simple. So what should you know? Social media marketing, social selling, are they the same thing? No. Social media advertising, social media selling, quite similar, but basically it allows salespeople to laser target. So you're focused, you're specific, you target them, you establish a rapport with their network, and possibly you don't have to call them, and then you pitch when you're needed. I'm going to share with you some few best practices that will help you in social selling. Number 1, show up. You know what's not very social? Robots. You just come, appear, post and ghost. No. You may be tempted to save time with automated liking and commenting tools, like you go and get those apps automatically like and follow and unfollow, but these things do not build rapport. In fact, they can do serious damage to your personal and professional brand. Try to avoid it. Yes, there are ways you can incorporate all of these things, but there's nothing that beats the real human. People want to feel you, people want to see you. So show up, engage, be present, be yourself. Remember, the point of social selling is to build relationships. So the goal is to make yourself seem more human, approachable, and not less. Don't be a robot. It's social media. Okay, so you need to show up. Very, very important. And you need to be sure to optimize your social media profiles across the network to maximize the impact of your social selling strategy. And we're going to be looking at how to optimize, set up our accounts and optimize, basically from creating an email, so don't worry. Number 2, listen strategically to identify leads. Listen strategically to identify. Social listening, we've mentioned it in the 8 steps. I'm mentioning it again. Your customers and prospects are sharing incredible, valuable information on their social channels. They're basically telling you exactly what they want and need. All you need to do is pay attention. Okay, monitor what people are saying about your company, about your industry, about your competitors. Watch for pain points and request for recommendations, both of which provide natural opportunities for you to provide solution. I was listening and I saw people were complaining about paying for online classes and not getting the commensurate value, and some even they felt robbed, and all of that. And I knew this is not the brand I wanted. I knew I wanted to engage with my clients. I knew I wanted my trainees to have hands-on. I knew I wanted them to come out better and live with so much value, irrespective of that. So I had to look at what will it cost me to have to do this, and that's why that's how I was able to structure and say, okay, most of my courses have been, you just go online, take the course. I really don't have time to teach people. Why don't I try a boot camp? Why don't I try something that I can engage people? Really, I don't do this. It's been so long I did something like this. WhatsApp group, Telegram, no, I don't do it. Except I'm working for a brand and they want me to manage their community. Yes, I manage communities. I can do that. But on a personal note, no, I don't do it. But I said, no, let me try this different and see if I can hear them, hear their questions, interact with them, and see which is better. Okay, so you need to listen, identify, and then make create your unique selling point from there. Number three, provide value. There is no participation medal on social media. So if you're just going to do it, you have to do it right. That means providing valuable insight to the right prospects at the right time. So when interacting with prospects and customers through social networks, it is important not to get too pitchy. Rather than simply extolling the value of your product and services, all about you and all of that, your goal should be to contribute valuable information that can help establish you as an expert in your field. Write posts that share important knowledge, but don't be afraid to share relevant posts from others as well. Like, you can repost. But when sharing content from others, add a short comment of your own about how the knowledge can be applied to your specific field. Don't just repost and dump without crediting them, and also without leaving a comment on how relevant it is to them. So it's certainly okay to mention your product or services in some of your social posts, but don't make your post sales pitch or presentation. Everything is sales, sales, sales. Your goal is in social selling is to establish relationships that will eventually lead to sales, not to make sales on the first contact. Which brings us to my last of the 4 best practices of social selling, which is build meaningful relationships. Stay in touch with your new social contacts over time. Attention to the content they are posting, and jump in from time to time with a like or comment to let them know you've read and appreciated what they have to say. If a content moves to a new position or company, send a quick note of congratulations. You see this on LinkedIn. If you notice a constant asking for help or advice, jump in with a meaningful answer. Even if it doesn't directly promote your product, focus on how you can help your contacts and make their lives easier. If you can establish yourself as a go-to person in your industry, guess who they're going to call when they're ready to make a purchase? You. Okay, you. That's the 4 tips. I'm going to quickly share with you how to get started looking at specific platforms: LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of that, Twitter. So with the best practices I've shared with you in mind, these are the specific tips that can get you started on LinkedIn, which is a professional social network. LinkedIn is the most obvious social network for engaging in social selling. In fact, they have the whole social selling. If you're not so active on LinkedIn, you might be hearing social selling for the first time. And this is very applicable in LinkedIn, especially in the business to business space, because basically 50% of business to business buyers use LinkedIn as a resource when making purchase decisions, even to hire. So you need to be active on LinkedIn to position yourself as a player in those decisions. Here are 3 ways to start using LinkedIn for social selling. Number 1, build your credibility. Ask for endorsements and recommendations from connections with whom you have good relationships. These are posted on your profile and can help you get instant credibility with new contacts. And make sure your profile highlights expertise relevant to your potential customer rather than employer. I repeat, make sure your profile highlights expertise relevant to your potential customer rather than your employer. Highlight how you've helped previous customers achieve their goals. Number 2, extend your network. Use LinkedIn advanced search to uncover potential new connections by leveraging existing relationships with your network. So you need to extend your network. You need to connect with more people that are similar to you. Always focus on the customer who you want to buy from you. Number 3, we have explained before, get social in group. Join LinkedIn groups that are relevant to your industry. On Twitter is a great network for social listening because of the ability to create Twitter lists to monitor content from specific groups of people. Here are 3 ways that you can get started with social selling on Twitter. 1, existing customers. Use this list to keep tabs on your existing customers. Watch for opportunities to reply or to like their tweets or to retweet, so you can keep them in your radar. They can keep you on their radar. Don't overdo it though, but be sure that your engagements with clients are meaningful. Only like tweets when you actually like, and only comment when you have something valuable to say. Unless you are a super secretive industry, you may want to consider making the list public so prospects can get a sense of what kind of business you're already serving. Number 2, prospects. So number 1 is existing customer. Number 2, prospects. As you identify potential future customers, add them to your private list. You don't want to share this information with competitors, and you don't want users to know you have identified them as prospects. Until the time is right to reach out, keep a close eye on this list too, but don't engage with the same sense of familiarity as you do with existing customers. Keep a particular eye for requests and help or statement of pain points where you can respond and help them using your comment. Number 3, competitors. So existing customers, prospect, then competitors. Competitors too, this list should be kept private. Keep tabs on them. The competitive intelligence can help you spark ideas for your own social selling efforts and what you should do different. Twitter chats are also very important, are a very important part of social selling. They allow you to establish yourself as an industry expert and can serve as important prospecting strategy. And then finally, Facebook. You have to be a little bit more careful when your social selling Facebook, because it's the most personal of these three networks. Um, that's of LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Some people simply don't want to mix business and pleasure on Facebook. So sending friend requests to business contact or prospects may come across as being creepy rather than helping. So you may want to create a Facebook business page instead and then use the strategies to start social selling. So creating a Facebook business page for managing business business is not negotiable. It's very important. Number one, using your business page, engage with other businesses. It's easy to reach out through likes, comments, and shares. If you provide thoughtful comments and share valuable content, your outreach is likely to be reciprocated. um Number two, engage with followers. Always respond to your followers' posts. Try asking questions to spark conversations among your Facebook followers. Posts that ask questions get 100% more comments than regular text posts, and it allows you to start a conversation and interact directly with your followers. You could also ask followers about some of their most pressing problems and then create a report or a checklist or something that you can offer them to help. Okay, so that's basically it on social selling, and I really want you to listen to this over and over again and think of how have you been getting it wrong and how can you get it right. Thank you.
Audio Jungle.